So right here I have phone holders. These have come off the street. They've been taken off by our infield team. They come to me, I'll give them a good grease up and have a good once over. If I can't fix one, I'll take off the individual components and I'll put them to repairing a completely different mobile phone holder. So here we actually try to reuse fenders however we can. This one seems to be in good nick, so we'll just try to give it a once over, replace the light and stick on a new scooter.
So the wheels just here are wheels that have been taken off other scooters that maybe weren't in a rideable condition, and we've earmarked these as good front wheels that can be reused on other scooters.
So here, these are screws which I've taken off of decommissioned scooters which I've gone for recycling. So these are washers which I've taken off of, again, decommissioned scooters. So this is what an old dashboard. It does actually require some repair. I would just take it apart and replace the circuit board, put it back together again, and it'd be good for another scooter.
This is an example of some of the packaging that we received when we had our new bikes in. What's really important to point out with this is that we're even using this to wrap our batteries up when we send them off for reconditioning. So we don't just pay attention to the recycling of the scooters, we also look at how we can reuse the materials that we receive that the scooters and the bikes are packaged in. We actually store parts to be sent off to various different recycling centres. An example of that being the tyres, which are sent to be used for rubber matting for children's playgrounds. This is an example of one of the motors, just with the motor in the centre. We recondition where possible. If that isn't possible, then they get sent off to the metal recycling, and then the rubber tyre around the edge, which gets removed and sent off to the separate recycling centre. So just across these two boxes we've got all of the sort of smaller metal components, things like the scooter stands, the brake cables, also some of the motor components as well. At the back here you've got the electrical box, and this is full of IoTs, which is the communication centre of the scooter. We've been working on reconditioning these recently, but where that hasn't been possible, then we put them in the scrap bin and they go off for recycling as well. So this is our hard plastics recycling box. Where possible, we will reuse these parts to put them back on scooters. If not, then these will all be sent off to the plastic recycling. These are our black fireproof boxes where we store the batteries if they have a fault or a potential fault, and this allows us to check through them safely. If we do find that the batteries are unsafe in any way, then they'll be either disposed of and picked up by our battery recharging company or sent off for reconditioning.